Hey, how's it going, everyone? Today we're going to be going over the 4 sets that are currently accessible in LEGO Legacy, and we're going to kind of talk about some of their obvious uses and some of the uses for these sets that you might have not thought about yet, like even some team comps that don't even utilize the same faction tag. So we'll start off with the pirate set because it's first right here. This one pretty much just works with pirates. It doesn't really, there's really no synergies that work well with any other character. But if you are going to use this for pirates, this first ability is the one you're going to want to level up first. So if you only have so many of these set tools, I guess they're called, the tier 1 set tools, this one right here, the gray ones, you should focus on this first ability because this is really the one that matters. These other two don't really do that much. So when maxed, this ability reads, whenever a pirate hero damages a foe, one random hero has a 25% chance to assist and deal 30% damage. If they are a pirate, they have a plus 15% bonus chance to assist. So that's basically a 40% chance for pirates. And that's actually a pretty high percent chance for every single attack. That's every single turn that you deal damage, it's a 40% chance. So it's going to be happening a lot. And if you have all 5 pirates, that's going to be a lot of assisting and a lot of damage. And Redbeard also could just assist on his own, so you can probably see why this is the ability that matters, because this is going to give you all the assisting. Now, going from level 2 to level 3 is the most important upgrade here, because with level 2, it's a 15% chance to assist, but as soon as you go up to level 3, it adds that 10% bonus chance for pirates. So it jumps from 15% to 25% chance for pirates. So that's why that ability is the most important. This second one just gives a chance to grant all allies attack up at the start of the turn, and also skill up to the pirates. Skill up and skill down and also the grit stuff isn't that important right now. It doesn't have many applications, but in the future there's definitely going to be debuffs and stuff that you're going to want to be resisting, so you're going to want to have grit up. That's going to be important. And if some enemy units have some grit up mechanics that makes it harder for you to apply debuffs, it'll be nice to have this skill up on your pirate so that they can be applying the disarmed and all that stuff to stop the enemies from using their special abilities. But this early in the game, applying or resisting debuffs isn't that important. It definitely helps, but it isn't going to change the direction of the battle. And then the third ability isn't very useful. Same thing, it's grit down, but this time it has a chance to inflict the enemies with grit down at the start of the battle. So if the enemies are inflicted with grit down and you have skill up, then that's going to be it's going to be very easy for you to apply those debuffs, like Redbeard's disarmed on his basic. At least I think it's his basic. I don't know. I don't know the pirates too well. Anyway, let's go to the next set. Didn't mean to go out there. Here we are. The Guarded Inn. So this set right here, I'm going to say that this is easily the most versatile set. If you're just trying to have a good set that can kind of be a catch-all for whatever random team you're running, like if you're going with Hiker and Burnabus and Yeti and Lloyd, just a bunch of random characters, this is the set you're going to want to choose. That's why I've maxed this 1 to 5 stars first. By the way, we can't currently get to 6 and 7 stars for the sets. I could keep farming up tiles for this in anticipation of when that's released, but there is a slight chance that 6 and 7 stars will not be released with tiles. Like, you won't be able to farm up to that level, and instead you'll get 5 and 6 or 6 and 7 stars some other way, like through an event. I don't know, probably not, but I still wouldn't want to waste that farming. So instead I'm just going to farm all the other accessible sets up to 5 stars and just leave them there, and then in the meantime I'll just farm set tools, this stuff right here. So, the Guarded Inn set, why is this so powerful for so many units? Well, it's not because of this first ability. This just reads, whenever a castle hero taunts, they gain grit up for 2 turns, and each hero gains 1 stack of heal over time. So, if you have a castle tank in your team, this will be just a nice extra thing to have. It'll kind of heal your team up, and if you have it at the max level, it is a 3-turn heal over time, which is better than nothing, but this ability isn't going to really do much for you in most situations. The second and third abilities, these are the ones that really matters. At the max level, it reads, whenever a hero gains defense up 1, and by the way, that does apply to defense up 2 as well. It's not exclusive to the first version. They also gain attack up 2 for 2 turns. This is really, really powerful. If you have any unit that gives defense up, they'll also be giving attack up. For example, Hiker. His passive reads, at the start of Hiker's turn, he has a 40% chance to grant the hero with the lowest health defense up 2 for 3 turns. So whenever Hiker gives out this defense, which happens a lot during the course of the battle, he's also going to give offense up, and that will increase your damage output and really help you win the battle. Now, my current team is this top row right here: Zane, Lloyd, Cactus Girl, Kai, and Hiker. I'm currently trying to replace Cactus Girl for someone else. She's really not that great. I've tried Jester in there, but he's not a high enough star level, and my Cactus Girl is 6 stars, so it's kind of hard to compete with her right now. Almost 7, by the way. I would like to replace her with someone like Firefighter Ash, but I just don't have her leveled up. Anyway, with this top team, if we take a look at their health level, Zane has 10,000, Lloyd has 13,000, Cactus Girl has 10,000, Kai has 7,000, and then Hiker is 10,000 as well. So Kai's low max health actually becomes a helpful thing, because even if Lloyd does his stealth ability and is taking a bunch of hits, it's very likely that Kai will stay being the weakest, and that means he'll be getting the defense up from Hiker and also the offense up. And Kai with offense up is very, very deadly. His special ability already does 150% damage, so if you do his special ability with a critical hit and with offense up, you can easily hit for over 6,000-7,000 damage, even at just 5 stars, gear 6. And so because of the way that works, I'm currently using the guarded Inset for my team, even though I don't have a single castle character. Anyway, let's go back to the set up here. Over here we are. Okay. Now this third ability is also really good, and it is a catch-all ability as well. At the final level, it reads, at the end of a hero's turn, and that's any hero, it's not just castle, they have a 15% chance to gain payback for 2 turns, and then castle tank heroes gain a plus 25% bonus chance. Now, 15% might sound low, but it happens surprisingly often throughout the course of the battle. Look at this clip right here. I get hit with an AoE ability, I mass counterattack thanks to all the payback, and I take out their unit. Now, all this counterattacking is super powerful, especially when multiple of your units have it and you're hit with an AoE ability. Like if we take a look at Yuppie's kit, where is he? Down here. His ultimate, in the middle there, clear all stacks of termination, then all active heroes assist for 50% damage. That's a pretty powerful ability, but with counterattacking, it's 100% damage. It's not limited down to 50. So this clip right here is basically like double Yuppie's ultimate, which is kind of crazy. The other thing to keep in mind is it's for 2 turns. So if, let's say, Hiker gets payback, then on his next turn, he has a chance to gain payback. But if he doesn't get it, he still has it for another turn, and then the next turn he takes, he has another chance to get payback. So often your units will have payback for a while, and even if they lose it, they might still have it thanks to the 2 turns, and then if they lose it then, they might gain it back next turn. So there'll just be a lot of counterattacking going around, and it will also increase your damage output as well, and help you take out those teams that do a lot of AoE abilities. Now you might have noticed that I haven't been farming any of these tier 2 set tools, and that's because, wait, let's go over here, and that's because they share a node with the Lighthouse set. So once I get around to farming this set after I finish the Pirate set up to 5 stars, I think I currently have that one at 4 and about halfway at 5. But once I get that one to 5, I'll start farming the Lighthouse Point, and then I will be getting more of these tier 2 set tools right here. And I have a bunch of the tier 1s because those share a node with Hiker, so it's kind of a convenient double farm. So I don't have to specifically set aside energy to farm either one of these, I'll just slowly get them over time. The Lighthouse Point set can work with some random units, but it's really meant for just city, although it really shines with some role model characters. And we'll take a look at that, that's because of this middle ability, but first let's look at the first one. This one isn't that great. At the start of the battle, each hero has a 100% chance to gain accuracy up 2, and a city hero, each city hero, will also gain debuff immunity. So, I mean, the debuff immunity is not bad. Don't get me wrong, there are definitely some useful debuffs like Debilitate or Clumsy or whatnot, but I don't think not being able to apply them for 1 turn is going to greatly change the course of the battle. And the accuracy up just helps you not get dodged, which might be helpful against Lloyd because his dodge up can be quite annoying. But the second ability here is where it really starts to get interesting. Let's press the down arrow here. Okay, at the end of a role model hero's turn, and the current role models in the game are Poppy, Firefighter Ash, and Officer Primo. The hero with the lowest health has a 25% chance to heal for 20% of their max health. So again, that percent chance to actually do the heal isn't great, but if you're using 3 role model characters, it'll happen more often. It's not going to happen every turn, but a 1 in 4 chance is still not too bad, and especially when it actually targets the hero with the lowest health, that can definitely be very helpful. Maybe if you just use Firefighter Ash and Primo in your team, because Poppy is not that great. Although she does have a chance to revive, so I don't know, maybe in the future her abilities will upgrade a bit more and she'll become better, but currently she's one of the worst healers in the game. It would probably be better to replace her with someone like Hiker if you really needed another healer. But either way, even if you're just using Ash and Primo in your team, this is still going to be a decent amount of healing that will be nice to save some of your weaker units when they're getting close to death. And then the last ability here, I can't actually see the upgraded levels because I don't have this set at 3 stars, but we can kind of assume where it would go. It says whenever a city hero deals damage, there is a 15% chance to clear 1 random debuff from themselves. So I assume the chance to clear goes up and the number of debuffs cleared probably goes up as well. So while currently this game isn't very debuff dependent, if you're going up against a character like Redbeard who will just apply a ton of debuffs to you, this can actually be really helpful if it clears more than 1 when you actually level this up. And now we move on to the final set, the Spy Track 1. I'm going to say this one is the least versatile of the 4. It basically just works for Space and Justice, but let's go ahead and read through these abilities. So the first one is actually really nice. Whenever a space hero deals damage to a foe, they have a 20% chance to inflict Debilitate on them, plus 5% bonus chance for each active wanted or Blacktron foe. Interesting it says foe there. It almost seems like it would make more sense if that said ally, because Blacktron is space. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, Debilitate, in case you don't know, if you attack an enemy that had Debilitate, their pep or turn meter will go to 0 immediately, and then it's removed. It's like a triggered debuff. So if you're applying this every time you deal damage, that could be a lot of turn meter reduction, which could definitely help you control certain teams. The next ability here is kind of an anti-stealth mechanic. Space seems to be pretty anti-stealth, especially with like Major K, who has an AoE stealth dispel, which would actually hurt this ability. But anyway, foes who have stealth have their attack reduced by 15%, and if they're wanted, reduce their attack by an additional 4% for each active Justice hero. So that attack reduction is going to be nice, but it isn't going to be too overpowered. I think if it was something like 50% attack reduction, that could really start to get interesting, but at 15% it isn't going to do too much. And then the third ability, which again I can't see the full level of, whenever a Justice hero deals damage to a foe, there is a 10% chance to inflict Speed Down 1 on them for 1 turn. So I assume the percent chance to inflict will probably go up, and that'll probably change to Speed Down 2, and maybe for 2 or 3 turns. Speed Down is great. Speed Down is very powerful in these turn-based games because it's all about taking turns, and if you take turns slower than your opponent, then they'll do more damage and you'll die quicker. So to sum all of that up, the Guarded Inn is the best catch-all set. It's great for mixing together a bunch of random units, and it even works well with non-castle units. The Pirate set can kind of work with some units if you want to get some attack up at the start of the battle, but really this is going to be specifically for a full pirate team to be taking full advantage of all of that assisting. The Lighthouse set is going to be useful for city, but specifically role model characters, because you're going to get a bunch of extra healing at the end of every one of their turns. And then the Spy Track 1 is going to work well with a full space team to also take advantage of that Debilitate and keep removing turn meter. Alright, well that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching.